Today I want to talk about being frustrated and where that comes from. Where's that Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome to my channel, Learning with Boys. I'm a homeschool mom of 4 boys, ages 9 to 19. We've been homeschooling for 13 years. I've been doing some videos on homeschooling and some on some gluten-free cooking. If you like this type of content, please subscribe and give this video likes. That would encourage me. I also want to share with you that you can find my Instagram account located under the About of my channel. Today I want to talk about being frustrated and where that comes from. Where's that frustration come from? Well, I could think about all the things that need to be done, like cleaning and cooking and making the appointment, canceling the appointment, up all night with the one that was sick, changing the diapers, feeding the baby, cleaning up after the toddler. Oh yeah, and I've got to homeschool the kids. Does any of that sound familiar? Am I the only one? There's a lot on a homeschool mom. It's not just opening the book and teaching for a couple hours. There's a couple things that I've learned, and it's taken me years to learn them. It wasn't like I learned it yesterday, but I'd like to share a couple thoughts with you that might help. The first is just seeing where your expectations are and setting them in a place of reality. I know we can really get high expectations. I am one of them. I have always, since I was younger, young married, children, had high expectations. You would plan this idea all out in your mind of how it should be and turn out, and it didn't even look close. But sometimes, especially in today's world, those high expectations come from different things, like a YouTube video that you've watched. They could come from other homeschool parents. They could come from a book or a movie that you've watched. They could come from social media. They can come from family members. There's so many areas that those expectations can come and put a lot of pressure on you as a mom, as a homeschool teacher. But I just want to share with you, if we could just bring those to reality and just focus on what God has for you and your family, just remembering what God has for you and your family might give you a little bit more peace about it's okay. Now, do we want to improve ourselves, improve our children, improve our family? Yes. But sometimes we might have to just pick one thing that we want to improve on, either that week or that month or even that year, that we know we need to work on this, and we're going to do it in baby steps. And we're going to see how the Lord will help us and guide us. Along that way, don't forget about all your other responsibilities, because I can be guilty of that. And remember, we're trying not to get frustrated. So we want to have realistic expectations. For me, that is going to begin and depend on my time with the Lord. I have to seek Him and what He has for me that day through His Word and through prayer. And sometimes praying helps you think about other people and not so much about yourself. I know for me personally, that helps me so much and encourages me. That another reason it's important to have that time with the Lord is you do want, I don't want this to sound boastful, but you do want your kids to see you taking that time with the Lord, because I have learned over the years your kids are going to pick up your bad habits and your good habits. So that would be one good habit I would pray that they would pick up. It's their personal time with the Lord. Now, I will admit there are some mornings that are better than others, but God knows, and we just need to do our best and put Him first. And when we do that, I know He'll give you peace throughout the day when problems arise, because they will. That's just part of the life of having children. I remember asking my husband one time about just a situation and feeling like a little overwhelmed, and he said, "Babe, we've got 3 teenagers." And I'm like, okay, Lord, help me. So it's really important just to keep your eyes on Him, because we are human and we will fail, but He's so faithful. And I just want to give you a couple verses before I mention the second thing, a couple verses talking about expectations. And in Jeremiah 29:11, it says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." And the other verse is found in Ephesians 3:20. Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. God is able, and we just need to put our faith and trust in him. He is the one that has a plan for us, and we need to look to him for that and not make our own plans and our expectations. So the second thing that I feel, this is personal, that I've had to deal with over the years, and the Lord's helped me, not understanding why our child is not getting a subject, not understanding why does our family keep getting interrupted? Why does my baby not sleep through the night? Does everything turn out perfect for them? And that would be our comparison. And really at that point, we'll probably have taken our eyes off the Lord. And I've struggled with this, especially when my kids were little. And I didn't even know about social media. But I did know that I had to turn my eyes back to the Lord. In 2 Corinthians 10:12, it says, For we dare not make ourselves of the number or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. We can't compare ourselves with anybody. We need to look at the Lord and his standards for our life and not everybody else's, because God has created each one of us differently. He's created each one of us with a different purpose and a different plan. And each one of us are going to have different children, and those children are going to be all different. So that is what he has given us to handle. He's not given us the responsibility to handle somebody else's family. We need to look at our family, and we need to look to the Lord for help and guidance. Okay, another verse is Galatians 1:10, and it says, For do I now persuade men or God, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ. We really need to make sure our focus is on the Lord. And that is something I've had to learn, especially over the last few years, is just keeping my eyes up and looking at the Lord and what his plan is for us and our family, and not comparing. Because pleasing the Lord will lead to you pleasing your family. As I've gotten older and my kids have gotten older, I can totally see that we're all so different. Not only my children, but my children are different than my friends' children. And that's what makes it fun, is that to learn from other people. And if you can and I've tried to encourage my boys with that as they've gotten older, that you can always learn from somebody, even if you don't 100% agree, or even if this is how I personally feel. I know I can never be like them, but what's one thing I could take away that would help and encourage me? And help our kids see that God has created them for a purpose and a plan. And that is our job, is to help them see that, to help them disciple them and help them grow in the Lord so they can fulfill that purpose and plan. And through all this, just think about the things that you're grateful for. Look at your child and think, what absolutely brings you joy about them? And just encourage them in that. The children need encouragement, and I think the more you encourage them, the more they'll encourage you. Maybe you've been struggling for a while, but remember, our adversary, he's after us, he wants us, and he wants our children. And if he can bring us down and discourage us, our children will see that. Just really encourage you to grab onto some verses, and that can encourage you on a daily basis, even in different situations, that would help you overcome whatever situation you're dealing with. So I hope when you think about frustration, think, is my expectations too high? Do I just need to, and that sounds horrible because we do want to have high expectations, but on the other hand, are they in reality? Are we stressing everybody out because we expect this much from them and they don't have that to give? Maybe sometimes we're expecting too much out of us and we don't have it to give. Maybe not at that time in our life. Maybe we have it or we have had it, but this season of our life might be a little different where we can't give that much. And that's all right. Just if we can accept the reality of what should be our expectations and also our comparison with other people, that can really hinder us if we're not careful. we just really need to pray and ask the Lord. And if you're not doing something somebody else is doing, that's okay. And if you are, maybe that is what is for your life. That's fine too. But each child will be different. So keep that in mind, that, some will progress in areas quicker than others. And some exceed in one area and some exceed in another. And I totally see that in my children. They're also different. Just remember, as a mama, those children and how you respond to every situation throughout the day. And if your expectations are too high, it's going to make you respond in a frustration when it doesn't happen. Or if they didn't meet what you think the qualifications, because you've already compared with other people with how they should be acting, and they're not acting that way, or they're not accomplishing this yet, but so and so is, and they see that you're frustrated, it's not going to encourage them. The more we encourage them, I really truly feel, the more they will encourage us. So I hope this video helped you in some way, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.